We are live, we are live, we are live. Nehal, have you told everybody to come? Have you messaged all of our wonderful creators? Let me also message all of them and say that we are now live. We are live across the board. Um, a lot of interesting conversations. I mean, every week or every session that we do on Gigsy Creator Central is usually very, very interesting. So this is also going to be an interesting session. We are going to be talking about memberships and how do you run memberships online and how do you grow your membership business and all of those things. So very, very interesting stuff. Very cool things. Very many cool things. Very many cool things to talk about. So very happy to do this and going to get started with this in a minute. Neil, how are you? I'm having some tea while you're at it. How are you?
I'm good, Vikram. I'm very excited for the session. Getting to know a lot of stuff about membership, how to run it, how to launch your successful membership site. So yeah, really excited.
Cool. So we will get that done. And if there are more people joining in, please join in through the link on WhatsApp that we would have sent the Creator Network. If you're seeing me on Facebook on my profile, you continue to get access to this webinar. You can see us on Gigsy's Facebook page, which is Gigsy India, or Gigsy Arts rather. You can see this on YouTube Live, which is on Gigsy's page again. And you can see this on my LinkedIn profile. So we've got a bunch of different places where we are streaming this simultaneously too at this point. So just waiting for some more people to join in and then we can start. I am actually going to start looking at sharing my screen. Can you see this, Nehal?
Yes, it was right now. It's loading.
I decided to make the first slide your own creative, just to make sure that we utilize your own creative for the deck. Yes.
Yeah. Thank you.
So this is the first slide, waiting for more people to join in, and we will continue in a couple of minutes. Alrighty, so let us get started then without any further ado. Don't want to stall this anymore. We've got a lot of content to cover, a lot of material to cover. So let's start doing that right away. Okay, so today's webinar is all going to be about how you can launch a successful membership site and in fact take your creative business or your creative business to the next level. So let's unpack our topic for today's webinar a little more, right? I mean, don't worry about this. We are not really looking at a blank screen. For now, you are looking at a blank screen, but we are going to move away from a blank screen very soon the moment I press a key. So we shall press the key and get started. So the problem is pretty simple. Creators want to set up sites to accept payments easily. Creators want to share content or links with people only after payments are made. There's no single way, in fact, to get your followers, your users to become your members so that they can pay you regularly. There are multiple different ways in which you can get that done. It's all fragmented. It's all broken across multiple platforms. And we'll talk about that also as we go through this session today. Yeah. So given all of this, the $1,000,000 question is, how do we make this happen, right? How do we set up membership sites and how do we grow them over a period of time? How do we get people to understand what a membership site is, etc., etc., etc. So without any further ado, we will delve right into the business of understanding how to figure out the next level of memberships. I call it the definitive guide to memberships, the 7 top questions that you can easily have answers for to run your membership site really, really smartly. Okay. Now this is the Gigsy way. So these 7 critical questions that I will answer as part of this webinar today. And if you want to chat at any point in time, if you want to ask a question, just type in your chat box wherever you are, whether you're on Facebook, YouTube, or wherever else you're watching this from. type in the comment section, and we will show some of your comments here. We will, answer some of these questions also if we have the time for it, but shoot anyway at any point in time. Yeah. So how do you know if a membership site is right for you? How to choose the best membership format? Lots of formats for membership, right? So it's important to understand which format to choose. How to be known as an expert and build trust so that people can become your members. How to quickly grow your audience, $1 billion question again. How to choose the best pricing model. What do you need to know about memberships and churn? We'll talk about what churn is and everything else as we go along these 7 critical questions. And what is the best content strategy for your site? Yeah. So 7 critical questions to answer across the board. If you are going to run a good membership business, it's important to get answers to each of these 7 questions before you get to the next level of running a membership business. And running a membership business is relatively simple. All the people make it to be very, very complex and everything else. So we are trying to demystify the entire process here as part of this webinar. So the first question is for you to understand if a membership site is right for you, right? So before we even get to that little picture, what is a membership site? A membership site is a page or a website on the internet where you can get your people to pay you a subscription fee monthly. Think of it, as very similar to Netflix, Hotstar, Amazon Prime, etc. You're paying a monthly fee or an annual fee in order to get access to some content. And similarly, on a membership site, you will end up paying somebody to access their content, and in return, they either give you content or they give you live access to some webinars or live streaming or added goodies across the board. So ultimately, on membership sites, you are paying monthly to specific people or specific groups in order to get unique, differentiated, and personalized offerings of access, so that you can access a person very nicely, much more normally than you can access someone on, let's say, free to air social media. Now that we have that out of the way, there are 2 burning questions that you need to answer, right? Number 1, this is all about repeatability, and number 2, this is all about need. So let's talk about both. Number 1, are you in a field where you can do things repeatedly? For instance, are you a singer or a dancer who does live concerts once a month? Are you a coach that takes sessions twice a month on generic topics? Are you a content creator who keeps making videos regularly? Are you an illustrator who keeps putting out comics or paintings regularly? Are you a photographer who keeps taking pictures? Could be travel, could be nature, could be anything. If any of these answers is yes, basically, if you're doing something repeatedly, then a membership site is the right site for you. You don't have to worry about the frequency. It could even be doing something once in a month. But if you're doing it, then a membership site is the right move for you. So the second point is, are you putting out something that someone else will need? Is your content recreational? Is it something that can give people entertainment value, right? Is your content educational? Are you trying to solve a specific problem for people that involves them taking regular steps? If yes, then a membership site is absolutely right for you. So 2 big questions, right? One is, if you are someone who puts out stuff repeatedly over a period of time, like I said, the frequency doesn't matter, but usually we would say once a month is good. And if you are someone who's giving people value through what you're offering on a repeated basis, be it for entertainment / recreational purposes or for educational purposes, then a membership site is absolutely a cool thing for you to pick up on and take to the next level. Nehal, do you have any questions on this topic? Or am I so clear that I don't have to be asked questions?
No, I think this was very clear, and it's really true that we need repeated content to run a membership site. So yeah.
Awesome. And if people want to chat, like I said, you can always put down your comments here in the chat box. If you're watching this on YouTube live, if you're watching this on Facebook, just put out a comment in the chat box and we will get you going. And in the meantime, I will quickly give my laptop a little bit of juice that it needs for it to get some charge. Nehal seems to be making faces. But yeah, when I said juice, I meant, putting on my laptop adapter, basically. Yeah. So now we've got question 1 out of the way. How do you know if a membership site is right for you? Yeah. So we'll move on to the next question. So lots of formats, right? Lots of membership formats. How do you choose the best membership format? There are a bunch of different membership formats across the board. There's this publisher model, the courier model, the coaching model, the community model, the drip model, or the combo model. So let me sort of take you guys through what each one of these things actually translates to, right? Nehal, do you want to talk about this, or would you rather let me handle it fully? I can handle it, but just want to know if you have any specific questions at this point.
I am more eager to know like what these models are and how we can
Cool.
use
Even
them.
I am very eager to know. So the publisher model is pretty simple. This is similar to a magazine, right? In which each month brings you a fresh set of articles. Now the difference is in the amount of content. Instead of pages and pages of articles, you can drill down to the most useful information that would help your fans or your subscribers succeed. It may seem counterintuitive, but in this case, less is actually more. Stick to maybe 4 articles a month with one leading piece, and you can always customize this after testing for drop-off rates, right? So that is basically the publisher model. Now, if I have to go into the courier model in particular, imagine you're delivering a package every month, right? This package might be more or less the same every time, but you're generating enough reliable content for consumers who actually need it. The best example could be, I will come out and do a live concert once in a month or twice in a month. And basically the content will change from may change with some specificities here and there. Could be that you're running English songs once in your live concert, and then you're doing Hindi songs or other regional languages in the next concerts. But the bottom line is, a courier model gives people enough clarity as to what you're going to be bringing on a regular basis, right? And makes content creation really, really simple. Now that basically is the courier model. And if you want to take another example of a courier model, is a meal plan membership, where a customer receives meal plan recipes, instructions, and grocery lists for the entire month. Now somebody like a Healthify Me or equivalent will do something like this, where they use the courier model to push memberships, nutrition plans, and everything else. So that is the courier model. So we've spoken about the publisher model. We've spoken about the courier model as well. With all of this is going to be extremely helpful for you to understand what you need to do in the next level. So we'll move on to the third one. The third one is the coaching model. Now, I spoke about coaching earlier, right? In this model, your personal involvement is actually very key. You can offer group or one-on-one coaching. However, you have to keep scalability in mind. How will you give the same attention to everyone when you have, for instance, 200 or 300 members? Plan for group classes or bring on junior coaches, for instance, to manage larger groups if you want to. So the coaching model is basically around those lines, where you have something to teach, some specific educational background to provide, where you're able to figure out whether you can scale to hundreds of users or tens of 20s of users across the board. So that's something that you can potentially do. That is the coaching model. Any questions so far, Nehal, on these 3 models? Any model sound interesting to you?
Yeah, the coaching model sounds really interesting because membership sites basically leverage the educational section site more. So when we come to coaching model, we know that the people who are running video courses need membership sites so that they can put out monthly or annual subscription fees so that people can come and join. So yeah, the
Yeah.
coaching model really sounds interesting.
Yeah. So for coaches, people who have an educational bent of mind, that is absolutely something that you can look at. In fact, your coaching model can also fit in very nicely into the drip model, which we will talk about a little later. So there is something called the community-based membership model before this. Now, in this model, your members pay you on a monthly basis to be part of a community of like-minded individuals. This model is really, really powerful, right? Because once relationships are developed, usually members are unlikely to leave the group. For instance, women who work out together motivate each other, and the group becomes the glue that helps them stick together in their routine, right? It could also be about specific social causes, for charity or for anything that helps people. For instance, if you want to come together to help give COVID essentials or COVID relief essentials to people, that becomes a very strong community play, right? So all of these are really cool ways of developing a community-based membership model where the community is completely involved, engaged, because they support the larger cause of what you're doing. So that becomes a very cool way of looking at memberships, which is the community membership model. Now we can move on to the drip model. The drip model is also very, very cool. A lot of coaches actually use this, and even nutritionists use this. This is a unique model in which you have some sort of curriculum of content that gets dripped to your members 1 day, 1 week, or 1 month at a time. So no matter when a member joins, they start on day 1. The next day they get material for day 2, followed by day 3, followed by day 4, etc. Ultimately, it's all time dependent. So you drip your content over a period of time, and you continue making sure that over a period of time people are able to access your content in a staggered fashion instead of giving it all out in one shot. That is what a specific drip model helps you do. I like the drip model because then you can even record videos in a very specific way. Can I increase the size of the screen is what Mr. Sagar is asking. Come on. Let us see if we can increase the size of the screen. Is the size of the screen increased, Nehal? Or we can do this. What do you say? This is also
Yeah,
big enough, isn't it? Yeah?
it's a little bigger
So
than the previous one.
slightly more bigger. So we've just increased the screen. I hope that is good enough for Sagar. So I don't know if there are better ways of increasing it. I think this is small. This is slightly big. This is slightly the same. In fact, this I think is cool, isn't it? I think this is nice. This is not so good. Nah. Nah. All right. Picture in picture is nice. Or we do cinema. I think the cinema thing is really cool. So we will stick to this. Yeah. So we were talking about the drip model in the end. Now what we will do is to talk about the combo model. Now this combo model is, you've learned about all of these other 5 models that we spoke about. You might find yourself asking, hey, do I need to stick to just one? The simple answer is no. You may like the publisher model, but you also need some of the coaching model for your content. You may want to require a place for your community. The good news is that you can combine 2 or 3 of these models to build the perfect membership site for you. So there is no real, one size fits all kind of approach. There are different models that help across different sorts of creators and the different kind of passion businesses that you're running across the board. How do you eventually decide, right, if which model suits you the best? Not all membership sites are actually created equal. You need to leverage your business strengths to find a perfect fit instead of choosing the most popular model. The decision becomes easy when you focus on 2 things, 2 very, very critical things. One is you, obviously, because you're the person who is imparting all of this, and second, your community. Ask yourself, what would make the biggest sense or the most sense for my audience to make progress or get entertained faster and more effectively? If you're not the kind of person who likes interacting with people every day, the community model may not make sense for you. If you're not creating content every day, the courier model may drive you up the wall, right? The truth is always there that there will always be a place to create content, build communities, coach people, even if you don't like these things. But you need to factor those in right from the start. Yeah. Because once you begin, members will know if you aren't interested. And that's a critical point. If they know that, if they even get the faintest of feelings that you aren't interested, they are likely to leave early. And if you really focus on your strengths at this point in time and make sure that you're committed enough, the likelihood of you going wrong really, really low. Yeah. So that's something that I would definitely say in terms of figuring out how would you make the most sense, what would make the most sense, and how would you make the most progress for yourself in order to take you to the next level in terms of your membership business. Yes. So I am going to continue talking about the rest of the questions. Just taking a quick break right now because there's a lot of rain. Can you hear the rain? Yeah, it's loud, isn't it? Yeah, is it disturbing you, Neha? Are you able to still hear me? Very good. She's not talking. She's just miming her way through the whole thing. So, all right. So we will continue talking and we will move on to the next critical question on the table. Yeah. So what's the next critical question? How will you be known as an expert and build trust? Now, a lot of people ask me this question, right? If somebody wants to really go down the path of building trust, knowing that people will pay me, etc., etc., how do you think that is going to happen? Yeah. So now, if you really want to build trust across the board, you need to do a bunch of things. You need to make sure that you make a sale, and you need to make sure that you help people get a result. You need to be able to produce a story and ultimately share the story. Now this process guarantees results across the board, right? So let's understand what making a sale means. Now let's say if you get a subscriber, someone who pays you a monthly membership fee in order to access some of your stuff, content, or in terms of your webinar, the wheels start turning, right? Because now you have some validation of the fact that somebody is paying you. But this is just the beginning. If you move on to the next step where you actually help people get results after a sale is made, results could even be intangibles. For instance, it could be appreciation, it could be peace of mind, happiness, contentment, aspirational connects with you because they're paying you on a monthly basis. So all of these intangibles could also be very good results for you, where they're actually going down the path of saying, hey, you're doing great stuff. This is a lot of entertainment value for me. This works beautifully for me, etc., etc. So don't think about results only as tangibles, where people get a lot of interesting, educational related material or valuable material for them to progress in their lives. But they also get a lot of different intangibles. They get peace of mind. They get to have some downtime and watch something which is of entertainment value. So you need to help get those results, whether they're tangibles or intangibles. The third thing you need to do is to produce a story, right? As humans, we all love stories. It's what connects us better than facts and figures, no matter how accurate they are. Even if you identify just one person with a problem and help them, you're actually creating a story. It becomes a nice testimonial for you to use across the board, right? And that is what motivates you to go to the next step, see if more people are going to be affected in a positive way by you and by what you're producing as part of your membership community. The fourth thing you need to do, given the fact that you produce stories, share these stories. Like I said, the more people you help, the more stories you create, and the more stories you create, the more stories you share. The more stories you share, the more sales you'll make. Share it in a way that it makes it visible to others with similar challenges. Tell it in an authentic way that's relatable. Somebody should just be able to listen to you peacefully and understand, hey, you know what, this guy is making so much sense. What he does is so cool. So I would rather want to just listen to this person. So, bottom line, make a sale, help them get a result, get a story, share the story. Like I said, this process is guaranteed to actually get results. Now, this is something that you definitely want to do. Okay, always remember that confidence is the secret sauce to building trust and establishing yourself as an expert. Imagine you went to a doctor with a knee problem, right? And he said, well, we can try this might work, let's see. You would never trust him, right? Would you, Neil, if you go to a doctor like that? No. But if he came across as confident in his remedies, you're more likely to take his advice. Now, whether that remedy is good or not, nobody knows. But if he's confident, you know for a fact that you will take his advice. When it comes to teaching, for instance, sharing and helping people, you have to exude that confidence. And you should be confident about what you're giving out to people and be truthful about it. Now, that's how you build trust, establish authority, because the people you help get a result, and the more results you get, the more success stories you have to share. Like I said, more results mean more people coming back to you again and again, and ultimately you'll soon be known as an expert in that field that you're working on. Now this is what makes this question very golden. How do you get known? How do you get to be known as an expert and build trust? This is the most obvious, most relatable, and odds on very cool way to actually build trust and be recognized as an expert over a period of time. So that is definitely something that you can do. So this helps us answer 3 questions on the whole. Now we will go to question number 4. Nehal, please stop me at any point in time if you have any questions on any of these slides. I don't know if you have a question here, so if you do, please ask. Otherwise we can move on to question 4.
Yeah, I would like to just ask, like, when we talk about building trust and knowing as an expert, do one-on-one session or engagement with create like our subscribers or fans, does it help?
Absolutely. I think one-on-one connects are definitely, relatable for a lot of people, especially your fans, because then they understand you for you. They see you and they're able to relate to you immediately. When you do these one-on-one sessions, people get to know that you care about your subscribers, right? You care about the fact that you're getting them on board. You care about the fact that they're making a contribution to your community and becoming a member. You care about every single person. So when you give them the feeling that you care, it's definitely something that leaves them with a personalized impression, and that is something that they take with them for a longer time. So that's a great way of actually retaining existing members as well. In fact, we will actually touch upon that during question number 6, right, where you understand how to run a proper membership business, understand how churns work, how churn rates work, and everything else. So we will talk about that right there. But great question, keep it going. Yeah, so we will move on to question 4. Yeah, question 4 is how to quickly grow your audience. Okay, everybody wants growth. Everybody is very, very specific about growth and everything else. So let me talk about 3 different things. You need to get specific, you need to pick a platform, and you need to stick to a schedule. 3 different things that you specifically need to do across the board. So specifically, let's get specific. Yes, number 1, do you hate this tell us about yourself question in interviews? We all do, right? The question is so vague, isn't it? I mean, difficult to answer a question that is so open-ended. Now, if someone asked you what your favorite color was, or to describe your childhood pet, you'd probably have a better answer, right? That's why you need to get as specific as possible when you're talking about what you do. In fact, the more specific you are about the problem that you solve, the easier it gets for people to actually pay attention to you. Do you help people with a specific diet? Do you help them with specific mental exercises for them to get over anxiety, for instance? Do you put out content with entertainment value that gives them a lot of happiness, right? Do you make music that gives people a lot of peace? All of these things. Or make pens for calligraphy, or even help people take pictures that look like optical illusions, or even make comics like one of our creators does on Gigsy, right? Mr. Pablo's Parade, Vasudev Prabhu, big shout out to you. But yes, someone who puts out funnies and comic strips every week. Do you do something like that? What is it that you do, and what specific problem does it solve? Right now, going specific is the fastest way you can actually begin growing your audience. Yeah. Number 2, pick a platform. In the beginning, there are so many platforms to share content on, but you need to settle for one place that would be your primary platform. Don't spread yourself too thin trying to do podcasts and videos on YouTube and reels on Instagram. Whatever platform you pick, just stick to one in the beginning, dominate that one space. Expansion can come later. But then we also have a lot of smart people here at Gigsy, and where we love what you guys do as creators, and we keep helping you with a lot of cool things. So at this point, I'll shamelessly plug in something which is very, very cool. I'm going to type it out here for everyone to see. And this is something that you should absolutely access. And to make you even understand what exactly this is Gigsy Bloom. Gigsy Bloom, in fact, helps you post to multiple social media networks in one shot, on one click. Don't worry about copy pasting the same content anymore on different platforms. Copy on Twitter, copy to LinkedIn, copy to Instagram, copy to Facebook. Those are the days of yesterday. Starting now, if you want to get onto Bloom, if you want to get quick early access, free early access to Bloom, get on to bloom.gigsy.in, type in your registration or sign up and become start referring more people. In fact, the more number of people you refer, the higher chance that you get access to Gigsy Bloom fast. Bloom is there on both Android and iOS today, and that's something which is really, really cool. A lot of people have started using it. A bunch of people within Gigsy have also used Gigsy Bloom, and they've provided really great feedback. So go ahead. What are you waiting for? Go ahead and register on bloom.gigsy.in. Start referring more people in your circles who would be able to make use of such a tool. And using Bloom, you can automate all your social media posts. So this whole idea of picking a platform basically goes to naught, because now in one click, you can go to multiple platforms, right? So that platform for you becomes Gigsy Bloom. Horrible, shameless plug, but yes, it's cool. Had to do it, had to say it. Sorry about that, but had to say it. Why should I say sorry? My God, it's our own product. All right. So let's move on to the third one. Stick to a schedule. We've spoken about this in one of our earlier webinars as well. Sticking to a schedule is important. The most important thing while building an audience is to produce quality content consistently. Now, when you have a publishing schedule, you can communicate on a regular basis outside of your main product or service. Tell your audience you have the authority and you're the go-to person for their specific problem. This is something that you can do all the time. Stick to a schedule. Just makes it easier for you, makes it easier for your audience also to anticipate stuff, right? So this is question 4: how to quickly grow your audience. Get specific, pick a platform, stick to a schedule. As simple as that. Yeah. Cool. Anything else to talk about here?
Another thing that I think might, even help in growing the audience is, like you said, getting consistent with the content regarding like how our audience, are looking forward to our content.
Absolutely. Like I said, sticking to a schedule, consistency, producing content regularly, absolute must haves for anyone to take their content business to the next level, to take their membership business to the next level. So, question number 5. Bum, bum, bum. Sales, sales, sales. Question number 5: how to choose the best pricing model across the board. Everybody keeps talking about, oh, how much should I give it for, what should I do, how do I decide how much to price it, blah blah blah, all of those things. Right now, the point here is simple. You need to keep it very very easy for you to start off with. It should not cause you inertia. Right now, the moment pricing becomes an inertia causing factor for you, where you're getting nightmares about pricing and hence you're not able to go ahead with your passion business, then you've basically lost the plot. So don't keep thinking about it, but just to give you a quick idea about what exactly it is in terms of pricing models, let's talk about what sort of different pricing models you can actually choose. Right, you can choose a monthly model, you can choose an annual model, you can choose combined pricing, you can choose one-time fees, you can choose upfront fees with ongoing monthly, you can choose free trials rolling into monthly as well. So there are 6 different pricing models that you can choose across the board for your business, for your membership business. Monthly is obviously one of the most popular pricing options. Very straightforward, very simple. People pay you once a month to access content for the next 30 days, which means their membership is active for the next 30 days, right? The second thing that they do is to pay you annually. Customers end up paying once a year and it gets renewed on a particular date annually. Pretty straightforward. Monthly and annual are very straightforward. Now there is this thing called combined pricing. Now, members can choose if they want to pay monthly or annually. If you're opting for combined pricing, you might want to even think about incentivizing the annual plan by giving them certain coupon codes. And then they will know for a fact that, hey, you know what, if I pay annually, I might even get a discount. So this is something that you can definitely use as part of your combined pricing strategy. Yes. Outside of this, the next thing is called one-time fee. This means that customers pay you a one-time fee and access you, and they have access to the membership site for life. I would not usually recommend this because you will have recurring expenses and revenue will depreciate over time. So not usually one of those things that is really cool for you to do. So while it is a viable way of actually running a membership business, at this point in time, I wouldn't really recommend it. Yes, which is why it is called one-time fee. And I would say, hey, if you pay once, you've gotten access to me, so now you don't have to pay me at all, which means your capability to earn revenue also is going down, right? Then there's an upfront fee with ongoing monthly. Now this is like a membership fee that people are paying you at the beginning. They give you you you're charged a fixed amount upfront and then an ongoing monthly charge. If you have high setup costs, this can be very advantageous. Also, members are less likely to leave if they have paid a fee upfront, right? So it's important for you to think about this. How do you go about getting an upfront fee with ongoing monthly kind of a membership model going? So if you believe that this is something that is going to get you more recurring revenue, definitely something that you can look at. The next one is free trial rolling into monthly. I actually like this quite a bit because now you are able to offer a free trial for a lot of people who can get on board and actually figure out what sort of content you're doling out there, right? When you give out free content across the board, people are like, hey, you know what, I can figure out what this person is up to. I can take my time and decide if this content is right for me or if this membership is right for me, and then I can cancel if I want to. So you get the opportunity to get more and more people onboarded. You also have the risk of them leaving, right? Now you can typically offer a free trial for a month or for 2 weeks and then start charging a monthly fee. The downside of this is that typically this attracts people who are not really committed to you, right? Not really committed to your membership. But like I said, on the other hand, it's a great way to attract people who are unsure and need time to understand what you bring to the table. So I would say it's got both pros and cons, but starting with free and then making it chargeable is something really that can work for a lot of people who are running membership sites. And it's pretty simple. It's human psychology. If you give people something for free over a period of time and if they see value in it, they typically end up becoming your customers. Yes. So this is question number 5. How do you choose the best pricing model? Do we have any other questions coming at this point in time?
Yeah, like we have different kinds of creators on Gigsy, illustrators, musicians, dancers, and so on. So, what do you think? Like, what would you recommend to be the pricing strategy for these kinds of creators?
Oh, absolutely. I think this, whole scene about free trial rolling into monthly is something that can really, really work for a lot of content creators. I think across the board, when you give them, free access for a bit and then get them to, turn into paying subscribers, that's something that can incentivize your fans to follow you for a while, check out what you put out as content, and then ultimately convert them into paying subscribers. So that's something that I would definitely recommend. Free trial rolling into monthly, especially if you have something where you're just trying to test waters and all of that, right? Now, the cool thing is on the Gigsy platform, you can do almost all of this. Isn't that really cool? You can set up monthly subscriptions. You can by default get them to pay you annually. You can have one-time fee to unlock your content. You can do this free trial rolling into monthly. This upfront free with ongoing monthly is something that we don't have right now, but we have everything else at this point in time on Gigsy directly. You will probably figure out where I'm getting to with this, why I'm talking about all of this and where am I going with this. Very smart, eh? Disguising it in terms of how to build membership site and then talking about Gigsy. Huh? Very, very smart. Okay. Now that we are done with question 5, we can move on to question number 6. This is my favorite, in fact. What do I need to know about memberships and churn? Right? Very, very important, very life-saving scenes, right? I mean, you need to understand how things work. What you need to understand is pretty simple. When we run a membership-based content business, we have to be mindful of a couple of very plain Jane obvious truths and not let these bog us down. One is members will cancel. The second is members will renew. Just to let you all know, this happens on Netflix, this happens on Amazon Prime, this happens on Hotstar. It'll definitely happen to all of us as well. Okay, so if it can happen with big platforms, it can happen to you too. You're no different. So chin up, go with positivity, right? Now, you need to understand that there are multiple ways of actually keeping people interested in your membership business, right? Email and or text regularly. This is one of the most easiest ways of doing things. If you have a bunch of people who are your members already, you have their database, you have their email addresses, keep sending them personalized emails where they understand that you are invested in them because they are your members and you're giving them enough information for them to stay connected to you. Don't lose that touch. So it's very, very important to go down the path of saying, hey, touch with my members. Very non-intrusive also, right? You can try combinations of both emailing and text. It's a very horses for courses kind of an approach. In fact, as part of your membership plan itself, whatever they're subscribing to, you can let your members know that they're either going to be added to an email list or a WhatsApp or Telegram group based on what they are more comfortable with. Sure, you're putting out content and your members get notifications when you put out content, especially if you do it on Gigsy, because they will get notified. But a personal touch through email, text is very, very important to keep your members happy. Understand that they're paying you for 2 reasons. One is they like your content, and 2, they like you. That is why they're paying you. So this 2, the fact that they like you, is a very, very emotional connect, right? A beautiful emotional connection with you, the content creator. So they know who you are and they like what you're doing. You need to make them feel wanted. Give them the feeling that they're part of your day-to-day journey. They're paying you, which means they almost have unconsciously signed off on the fact that you'll keep talking to them, right, on a personal level. Now, coming back to emailing and texting, it's important to keep that list going, like I said, and to keep adding to the email list when people become subscribers. Gigsy gives you all of this info on your dashboard very, very simply. You know when exactly they started their memberships, what kind of memberships, monthly, quarter, annual they're on. And as part of these emails, you can even embed YouTube videos of you sending out personal messages to them. Keep your members invested. Let them know you value their contributions. Let them know that you value their membership, right? So it's important to have that very, very set so that you keep communicating with them. Now, the second thing to talk about is the fact that you need this personal touch. For people who have paid you annually or more amounts than just monthly subscriptions, you can feature them as part of your emails, where you tell them how much this person's contribution has made a difference to you in your creative journey. And that's why you're so happy making content for your members. Now, when you give out this personal touch, and if you even get possibly a testimonial from them, be it text, audio, or video, and feature them on these emails, that way they're getting more and more involved in your journey, and other people who are your members will start becoming more and more active, and they start becoming a lot more let's say active in the way they listen to you, more engaged with the kind of content that you put out, and generally become very, very happy and become members over a period of time for your own community membership, right? The third thing you need to do is to strike a chord. If you have a cause that you're working towards, like I said earlier, you give them content about progress towards a cause at least once or twice a month. Give them examples on how their contributions have actually helped someone become happier, live a better life. For instance, if you're going down that path, we respond to emotional situations almost immediately. So it's important to keep striking that chord with your members, and that's something which always helps, right? The moment there is something emotional, people connect to it very, very obviously. The next thing you need to do is to look at incentivizing. Give people some coupon codes, stuff that they can get for relatively cheap if they become your members, over a period of time. Reward them with something interesting. Maybe, access you on a one-on-one webinar, for instance, or give them discount coupons for a show that you might be doing, whatever it is, right? So you can give people all of those incentives for you to, for them to actually continue being members. And again, that basically helps them go down the path of continuing to become members and generally be in touch and engage with you, right? So that's something that I would definitely look at. Now, when you run a membership business, you definitely make some money, so it's important to reinvest some of that money. Don't just let that money go. Reinvest some of the money that you made as part of your memberships towards ads. Run ads on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, wherever you have a lot of followers, and to gather newer followers, right? Remember those golden steps webinar, Nehal, that we spoke about? Do you remember that? Yeah, you do? Okay, cool. Yeah, reinvesting, in fact, not only just gets you followers from outside, but also gives you a shot at converting them into paying subscribers. So not just your inner circle, but also people who may or may not know you and are probably second or third or fourth level network connections. So reinvesting is a major, major part of how you go about making your content business happen and membership business happen. So that basically brings us to the end of question number 6. Let's move on to question number 7. Yes, question number 7. In fact, Nehal, looks like you want to ask a question, huh? Do you? No, right?
No, I was thinking like when we lose many members, like people about that, like we are
No,
losing them on
like I said, it's all part and parcel of life. You should not worry about losing members. You should worry about keeping your members together. And when you're letting go, when some members are leaving either way, it should not bother you. You can go after them. You can email them, be in touch with them. But bottom line is, look at getting more followers from other networks, right? And that's the intent. Keep going on to the journey. Don't look at the past. Leave the past behind and go on, right? Get on with your life, more or less. So now we go to question 7. What is the best content strategy for your site? You have two types of different things that you can do. There's core content, there is monthly deliverable. So within your core content, there is a lot of cool things that you can do on your membership site. You can put out an intro video of who you are. What is it that you do? What is it that you bring to the table? Why should people become your members? What is it that they can expect, right? So put out a lot of free content in addition to that, where people know what sort of content to expect from you, so that it is filled with interesting pieces of content. The moment they understand what they know, what to expect, then the potential for them to either drop off or actually become your members is pretty high. But then you're actually attracting the right kind of people. So even if people drop off, it's okay. Maybe they weren't relevant to you or your membership business. So it's all right to keep them invested. It's all right to put out free content, core content that basically gives people a very good idea about who you are, right? And then look at monthly deliverables. So if you're looking at monthly deliverables, on top of all of the free content, put out this paid content where you're able to put out some sort of information, some sort of content that will help you keep churning stuff, right? Aside from the core foundational content, you need this fresh content every month to help people make some sort of connect with you, maybe progress on their goals if you're teaching them something, or get more entertainment value if you're entertaining them with something. So usually 4 deliverables a month will make sense. Basically once a week, you have to get clear on what your package is and how you're going to deliver it. If it's digital, you know what the components are, right? Very simple. We will get to that also in the next slide. I've got some interesting information for you. If it's physical, you figure out how you're going to get it delivered. Some memberships serve people by getting all the information in one place. For instance, you can set up a site that is the one place to get quick information without needing to sift through hours and hours of material. So whatever your content is, please make sure it is useful for members to take them forward in some journey, right? Whether it's on the entertainment, recreational front, or whether it's on the learning, educational front. This membership model is dependent on morale. So as long as your customers are making progress, morale wise, whether they're happy or whether they're learning something, that ultimately proves that they're on the curve to make things better with you. Yes. Cool. So that basically means that we are done answering all 7 critical questions. Now the core question is, where do you do all of this? How do you set up a membership site? How do you put all of these things together? I very shamelessly spoke about Gigsy in a couple of places, but then we will talk about a bunch of other places, right? You can actually develop something on WordPress. You can develop something on Wix. You can use GoDaddy for your domain. You can have Razorpay or Instamojo or the likes for a payment gateway. You can use Vimeo for your content. You can use YouTube for your content, or AWS for hosting images or pictures that you upload. So you can do a bunch of different things and put all of these pieces together ultimately and get a nice little site going. It's very, very viable. People do a lot of this a lot of times, but it takes a lot of time and it becomes very expensive. It can go up to the tune of tens of thousands of rupees, and it can take you probably a month to set all of this up. This is where Geeksy comes into the picture. You can actually run memberships for free in under 3 minutes. You can upload content, you can stream, you can do what you want. Now, you can even run 4 different levels of membership, successive levels of membership, with each level letting you give more premium content or premium access to your members. That's something that you can do beautifully on Gigsy already today. So very simply, Gigsy enables this personalized connection where fans get to access creators and creators get to engage with fans at much deeper levels through webinars, content, events, workshops, and more. Now you can either set up monthly subscriptions, you can set up sell one-off products, you can even configure buttons for people to donate to you. You could even name the button something. You could say buy me a PUBG chat, which is what I have done on my Gigsy profile. You can say buy me a coffee, you can say buy me a beer, you can say whatever you want, right? So the question is, how do creators use Gigsy? You're like, Vikram, you're saying this is going to be under 3 minutes. Yes, it is under 3 minutes. You sign up on the platform, and under 3 minutes, you can immediately start creating content and sell them through subscriptions, video courses, live streaming, digital products. All you need to do is to then publish your Gigsy handle to the outside world on Instagram, on Facebook, wherever it is. Now, Gigsy, we only take a 5% cut on every transaction that happens on your profile. 95% of the money goes to you. Gigsy has always been free to use, so you can continue to use it freely. You can also always choose, if you're very conscious about your brand, to go for our branded applications feature, where we help you roll out Android and iOS applications in your own brand likeliness. So that's something really cool. Now, if you're a creator on the platform, you get access to a bunch of different things. You get the 30-step Passion to Profit Bootcamp. You get access to webinars like this. Gigsy Bloom is another thing that you can get access to. Bloom.gigsy.in. Sign up. Start referring more people to get early access to Bloom, which automates social media posting across the board. You get to access me and the team to get one-on-one coaching, to answer your doubts, to help you out. All of this happens for free across the board. So what I'm trying to say here is that we are a 360-degree creator platform. And to give you some more context, I am not just some random CEO guy who is trying to run a business. I have been a creator myself, so I understand your pain. I'm a musician. I've been a musician for 20 plus years. I've sold 3 albums in the pre-digital era. I am creating Gigsy for you so that you can actually run memberships and accept money from your ardent followers for a very, very low fee, and ultimately run your passion business online on our platform. Yes, and we want to give you more power. We want to make sure that you pursue your passion and take your passion business to the next level. We don't want you to be in a boring, soulless job, right? We don't want you to be thinking in a way where you are quietly desperate and you believe there's a death of creativity. Now, we've experienced all of this firsthand, and which is why we know what it means, what it takes to actually become a cool content creator. So get onto the platform. We will definitely help you out. Yes, just to give you some perspective about the founding team, this is who we are. Yeah, we are creators, Vikram and Vikram, both of us. We are guitarists, we are musicians. We've been so for a while, for more than 15, 20 plus years. We understand how musicians create content. We want to take them to the next level. We therefore have extrapolated a lot of lessons we've learned as content creators across the board with different people. Samir also is a content creator. He actually creates a lot of financial content, and he has a bunch of clients who still seek him out for financial advice and for independence, financial independence very soon. So you are in safe hands. At this point, I would like to say thank you. We have come to the end of our webinar. I hope you had a lot of good fun. I hope you understand why we wanted to talk about creating membership sites, how we believe this is definitely going to help you take your passion business to the next level. So thank you so much for having us. Nehal, any parting comments?
I think this session was really wonderful. Got to know a lot about membership site, and even how Gigsy is being a platform to just run membership sites smoothly. So yeah, it was amazing.
Super. Thank you so much for watching us, people. This video is going to be available on our YouTube channel anyway, so go ahead, take a look at it, and you will know that this actually can do wonders for you if you ever stumble upon Gigsy. Yeah, and I hope you do. If you want to run your passion business, there's no other place than Gigsy today. Good night and have a good weekend, everybody. See you. Bye bye.